What are your stories of surprise parties gone wrong? In high school I was responsible for keeping a friend busy while her parents set everything up at their house for the party. We get back to her house. All lights are off. She walks in the door and announces I have to take a huge shit. Lights turn on. Surprise. Embarrassment ensues. My buddy who does way more judo than people should flipped his girlfriend clean over during a surprise party and broke her arm. Thought she was an intruder. Needless to say, they're married now. One time my mom told me that we were running low on funds, so we couldn't have a birthday party and that the best we could do is take me to McDonald's with my friend. We'll call him Jack. We get to Jack's house and mom tells me that he is out at his pool. I walk over to the gate outside and 20 people jump out and are all like surprise. I'm confused as fuck. I walk over to Jack and ask him if he's ready to go to McDonald's and my mom had to pull me off to the side and explain it was a surprise birthday party. I'm not a smart man. The person we were throwing the 63rd birthday party for was coming back from a trip with his wife and we, 50 plus people, were in the backyard with all the decorations set up and food. His wife texted us when they were 5 minutes away and we all gathered to the fence gate where they would soon enter. The fence was about 7 feet tall, so you couldn't see anything over it. When they entered, we all yelled surprise and his face looked like he was about to sneeze. But instead he was having a stroke and ended up in the hospital for the evening. The food was good though. My aunt had set up a surprise 40th birthday party for my uncle. Everyone, about 30 friends, neighbors, relatives, were hiding in the basement waiting for him to come home from work. His car pulls up. He runs to house. Everyone yells surprise and he shits himself. Turns out he had the runs that day and really had to poop. We all had to wait until he got a shower for cake. I was 9 at the time and couldn't stop laughing. My friends, family and coworkers planned a surprise birthday party for me at my house. In order to give everyone time to get there and get set up, my coworkers had my boss ask me to stay late at work because we might have an emergency project to do tonight. So 5 PM rolls around and everyone heads home. Really? To my house. I sit around. 6 PM. 7 PM. Finally text the boss that I'm headed out unless she really needs me to stay. Turns out she was supposed to have me go home at 5:30 because the project didn't pan out. Since I figure my evening is shot anyway, I head to the grocery store, pick up the dry cleaning, drop off the recycling, etc. I walked in my door around 8:45 to 9 PM to find all my friends, family and coworkers drunk in my house. They were all a bit too in their cups to muster a coordinated surprise, but I figured it out. Ended up having a blast. Closed bracket. Went to one of those surprise parties where more and more people show up to a restaurant until the whole party is there. Fun stuff, right? Turns out that a couple who were in our group of friends were in the same section having the divorce talk. And thing was that they hadn't been invited because they fought so much it was tough to be around them. We threw a surprise party for my brother's 30th birthday. We did such a good job planning it that he didn't even have any idea it was for him. My sister's birthday is about 10 days before my brother's. So we told him we were throwing a surprise party for her. Since it was before his birthday we figured he wouldn't suspect a thing. He didn't. We actually had him in on the planning of his own party. Asked him for his thoughts on food, drinks, etc. We had all of his best friends, the entire family, minus my sister, oddly enough, over and he walked through the door. Surprise. Dumbuses. I'm not sister's name. He looks around and sees all of his friends. It finally registered. He was so grateful for the awesome party and he had a blast, but his initial reaction made it feel like the biggest failure. My time to shine. My mom was having a surprise party thrown for her 30th birthday. They flew in the whole family. Her parents came. The whole shebang. On the way home from work, she was driving on a mountain road and was head first by a truck. She was driving a VW Beetle. She was helicoptered to the hospital, needed emergency surgery on her back, etc. So when she woke up in the hospital, they were trying to get her phone number to call the family. She couldn't remember it. So a house full of people were waiting for my mom for like 2 or 3 hours. And eventually she remembered the number. She was completely bedridden for 6 months after that accident. Crazy stuff. When I was at EJ, the wife planned a 45th surprise birthday party for her husband, rented a banquet hall, a lot of food, maybe about 150 people. The husband walked in. People yelled surprise, and he got this shocked look on his face and went off on his wife, accusing her of cheating and so on. If you can hold this a secret from me, then who knows what else you're doing behind my back. A big commotion after that. I packed up and left. No party. Edit. Simple understating of psychology will tell you that he's the one fucking around, right? Edit. Spelling. One of my friend's girlfriends was throwing him a surprise party at his house and invited a bunch of us. An hour or two before, someone posted on her Facebook wall, "Hey, what time does the party start again?" Needless to say, the birthday boy wasn't very surprised, but at least we all had a good time. My boyfriend at the time and his female friend planned a surprise party for me while I was at work. Was definitely surprised and overjoyed that all my friends were at my house with cake and balloons and wine. However, after a while I notice I can't find my boyfriend or his friend. Caught him on the porch making out with a girl who helped him set up my surprise party. He forgot I had a security camera pointed at the front door. Was not a good surprise. A girlfriend of mine punched her aunt in the face and broke her nose because she jumped out right in front of her when they yelled surprise. One hospital trip later, they decided not to throw surprise parties anymore. One of my roommates last year had a girlfriend who was ultimately sweet, but very clingy, controlling, and an alcoholic. She decided to throw a surprise birthday party for this roommate, Kay, and had been planning it for an entire month beforehand. She invited all his friends, recruited me and the other roommates to help decorate the apartment and fix some food, had posters and banner printed out, and baked a huge elaborate cake. The day of the party he came home 4 hours early. The girlfriend is absolutely crushed and spends the next half hour screaming at him about how he'd ruined everything. We finally convince her that all is not lost and finish decorating while Kay sleeps. A note about Kay. At the time he worked nights at a bar. He normally slept during the day and was awake at night. But today he'd been asked to work a double shift for some reason. When he arrived home that day he'd been up for at least 24 hours straight. Anyway, a few hours later the guests arrive and everyone is having a good time except for the girlfriend, who is still distraught the surprise was ruined, and Kay, who is asleep. The girlfriend gets outrageously drunk and spends an hour or so trying to get Kay out of bed to enjoy this party she threw for him, and he isn't having any of it. When she finally manages to drag him out of bed, he pounds a few shots. We sing happy birthday, and he passes out again. The girlfriend at this point gives up and passes out on the floor in his bedroom. So the rest of the night was spent partying with these people we really didn't know, and then cleaning up. We left up most of the decorations for Kay and his girlfriend to take care of in the morning, which they never did. The monstrosity of a cake the girlfriend made sat in our fridge for a week before she remembered it existed. TL. Doctor, alcoholic plans surprise birthday party for her boyfriend. Surprise is ruined. Both GF and BF pass out not 2 hours into the party and never clean up. A girl I was dating in high school set up a surprise birthday party for me, but chose to not invite most of my good friends because she didn't like them. Well, they caught wind of this party and took me out for some drinks instead, as their own birthday surprise. This was before cell phones, so she didn't have a way to get in touch with me to make up a reason to get me back to her house. Halfway through the night one of them spills the whole story, and I decided wise to make a rather late appearance. It was very awkward walking into a room of her drunken friends, with her crying in the bathroom. Needless to say, I worked quite hard at planning a surprise party for my best friend in the flat we shared. Her boyfriend was to bring her home at a set time. We were all sitting in the living room with our eye on the front door. waiting for her to enter as we had seen his car go by, all part of the plan. Except he brought her in the back door. She walks into the living room and all our backs were to her and asked what we were doing. When I asked him why he brought her in the wrong door, he said it was because parking was better on that side. Idiot. My younger sister decided she wanted a surprise party for her birthday, so she went ahead and planned it all herself. Cake, balloons, everything. The best part was the reveal. She walked into where everybody was waiting for her early and shouted surprise. My friend got back from deployment. It was my job to take him out and keep him away whilst they prepare his house. When we arrive, everyone jumps out. Friend reacts automatically, punching someone in the face and throwing himself out of the door at the same time. 2 chipped teeth and a sprained wrist. Man. This one time my roommate was about to move away for a couple years, and his girlfriend threw him this awesome surprise party, but forgot to tell me. So there I'm walking home from a long day, and a huge group of people in my apartment yelled surprise when I walked through the door. My roommate was a couple minutes behind me, but they wasted what she called the good surprise on me. Buddy of mine set up a surprise party for his fiancée. She thought he was off to another state for a week for work. He came back early on her birthday and set up a huge surprise party for her at home. She usually gets home at like 6 p.m. from work and it's already like 7 p.m. and we finally hear her coming. We turn off the lights and she comes home hammered with another dude she was going to bang. Drama was all over the place. It was a huge chaotic argument. People taking sides. My buddy was really pissed and faked that he was calm, and then like a cheater jumped out of his seat and decked the dude in the face and knocked him out. The guy deserved it. He was a pickup artist and knew she was engaged. She was just her easy catch, but still she is at fault and they ended breaking up. Dude walks in, pants open, stroking his cock. Light goes 1. Someone jumps out screaming happy BD. Dude scared shirtless, pulls up the zip, jams a nut, screams in pain. Everyone else jumps out and screams too. Everyone screams. Ribs hurt from laughing. Went out for a romantic dinner with the then wife. She was being unusually flirty, showing cleavage. Goes to restroom, brings back panties in her hand and gives to me. Says she couldn't wait to get back home, etc. So, arrive back home. She tells me to meet in the basement, where we have our entertainment room and TV while she changes into something for the evening. Huge boner. Go down the stairs. Start taking off my pants. Surprise. About 30 friends in the basement for an early surprise B-day party. I fell backwards on the stairs. Could feel my heart racing and barely covered boner, fortunately, rapidly deflating. Would rather have had the intended evening's activities and didn't end up getting any B-day sex.